Welcome to SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. ECNEC approves 13 projects worth Taka 8,333 crore. Government to purchase rig explore gas in Ebola. Experts propose 4 mechanisms to implement July Charter, said Consensus Commission's Vice Chairman Ali Riaz. Government increases Durga Puja grant by Taka 1 crore, said Home Advisor. This year's Puja will be celebrated in more festive atmosphere compared to last year. Now in details. The government has decided to procure drilling rig to step up gas exploration activities in Ebola. The decision was taken today as the Executive Committee of National Economic Council ECNEC approved 30 development projects involving an overall estimated cost of Taka 8,333.28 crore. Of the total cost, Taka 4,437.82 crore will come from government's fund, Taka 1,225.36 crore as project assistance, while the remaining Taka 2,670.09 crore will be borne from the implementing agency's own funds. Chief Advisor and ECNEC Chairperson Dr. Muhammad Yunus presided over the meeting held at the NEC conference room in the city's Shere Bangla Nagar. Among the approved schemes, even are new projects, 5 are revised one, while 1 project got an extension without increasing cost. Besides, the ECNEC members were also apprised of 11 projects earlier approved by the planning advisor. National Consensus Commission Vice Chairman Professor Ali Riaz said that a panel of legal experts has suggested 4 possible mechanisms to implement the July Charter through an ordinance, executive order, referendum, or a special constitutional order. He also said that for constitutional matters, the panel recommended earlier a referendum or a special constitutional order. Considering all aspects, the Commission presented its advice to the parties. Riaz made this remark during a discussion on expert recommendations focusing on method to implement the July Charter today on the 3rd day of its 3rd phase of dialogue at the Foreign Service Academy in Dhaka. The meeting was attended by representatives of 30 political parties including BNP, Jamaat Islami, National Citizen Charter, and the Gano Adhikar Parishad, the Gano Samiti Andolan, and Communist Party of Bangladesh as well. The session, chaired by the Chief Advisor's Special Assistant Munir Haider, was attended by Commission members Justice Muhammad Imanul Haq, Dr. Iftikhar Zaman and Dr. Badiul Alam Mojumdar. The Commission held a meeting with the expert on last Sunday where it was suggested that constitutional matters outlined in July Charter could be implemented through a constitutional order under Article 22 of July Declaration. Advisor to the Ministry of Home Affairs, Lieutenant Muhammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhary, has announced that the government has increased its grant for this year's Durga Puja celebration by Taka 1 crore. He made the announcement today while visiting the Ramnakhali Mandir in Dhaka. Home Affairs Advisor noted that last year the government provided Taka 4 crore for Durga Puja. This year the amount has been raised to Taka 5 crore. He also added that over the past 15 years, the government contribution had remained at Taka 2 crore, which has now been increased Taka 5 crore. He also assured if further support is needed, the government would provide it. Besides, the advisor said this year's puja could be celebrated in a more festive atmosphere compared to last year. He also highlighted that the festive attract people from all religions, not just Hindu. To ensure smooth celebration, a mobile application has been launched that allows real-time reporting of any incident or emergencies directly to the government. Students of polytechnic institutes across different districts blocked roads in Dhaka Tejgaon, the Chandona intersection in Gajipur, Dhaka Barishal Highway, and the Chouhatta area in Sylhet to press home a 4-point demand, including withdrawing all support for the unjustified 3-point demand of BSc engineering students. The students, under the banner of the Karigari Chhatra Andolon, started their blockade at Tezgaon around 11:30 a.m. and withdraw their blockade around 2 p.m. They are letting vehicle pass, bringing the traffic condition to normal, but have not left their position beside the road. Earlier, the vehicular movement came to a halt, leading to gridlock in the surrounding area due to blockade, said Tania, an additional Deputy Commissioner of Tezgaon Traffic Division. A protest was organized under the banner of Diploma Engineer Welfare Foundation. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
A restaurant of delicious local and international cuisine. Fully air-conditioned building with spacious banquet, car lift, sky view rooftop restaurant, all in one. Grand Club Limited, Mirpur 10, Dhaka.
কি এমন জিনিস যেটা সব লোকে খায়? ছোটরা খেলে পরে কেঁদে মায়ের কাছে যায়, বৃদ্ধ লোক খেলে পরে মাথায় দেয় হাত, যুবক যুবতীরা খেলে পরে এদিক ওদিক তাকায়।
ছেড়ে দে শয়তান, ছেড়ে দে, দেহ পেলে আমার মন পাবি না, ছেড়ে দে।
কোন ফলের বীজ নেই বলো দেখি দাদা, বলতে না পারলে হবে তুমি গাধা।
মন্দিরা চক্রবর্তী কার সাথে প্রেম করছে?
আমি এখন মা হতে চলেছে।
চিনেছি তোমারে আকারে প্রকারে, দিনের আলো রাতের আধারে।
কোন বাসায় শুধু দুজন থাকে, দরজা জানালা ছাদ কিছুই থাকে না?
পা, পায়ের নুপুর, ছন্দ,
মনে হচ্ছে কি ছু দিয়ে জাদু মন্ত্র।
এক্স্যাক্টলি, পায়রে নুপুর আমার।
অরিক্স স্পেশাল সেলিব্রিটি শো তারকার ঝলক দেখবেন প্রতি শুক্রবার রাত 9:30
ভালোবাসা একবার তুমি বউ কইয়া ডাকো।
হ্যাঁ গো,
আর কত দূর?
আরে আমি তো ফিডের গাড়ির লগে।
তোমার গরু হাঁস মুরগি মাছ।
Welcome back, and you are watching SATV News. Now news from abroad. Displaced Palestinians headed southward in Wednesday, a day after Israel unleashed a long-threatened ground assault on Gaza City, declaring Gaza is burning as Palestinians there described the most intense bombardment they had faced in 2 years of war. Some on load and the others vehicles or carts. People carried their belongings as they moved the Gaza city across a coastal area in central Gaza. Meanwhile, Israel said the offensive to take control of Gaza city is part of a plan to defeat Palestinian militant group Hamas for good, and it was warned the civilian to the head south on the designed humanitarian zone. However, the UN and numerous countries said it tactics amount to force the mass displacement and that conditions in the humanitarian zone are there. With food in short supply, Israel's military assault against Hamas has killed over 64,000 Palestinians October since 7/2023. Meanwhile, Canada's foreign ministry on Tuesday called Israel's new ground offensive in Gaza City just horrific. It worsens the humanitarian crisis and jeopardized the release of the hostages, the foreign ministry said in a post on X. An Israel Defense Forces official said ground troops were moving deeper into the enclave main city, and that number of soldiers would rise in coming days to confront up to 3,000 Hamas combatants who, according to the IDF, are still in the city. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Tuesday that Israel will create an independent arms industry which could withstand international constraints. In his address, Netanyahu spoke about the Israeli economy and that we withheld through the two economic crises, the COVID and 2-year war in Gaza. He also added that President of United States Donald Trump had invited him to the White House in 2 weeks after his speech at the UN. Several EU countries have announced in the recent days that they would move towards armed embargo on Israel and stop buying Israeli weapons amid the Gaza war. Meanwhile, during the televised interview later on the day, Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel stuck the port of Hudaydah in Yemen. He also further called the port the main supply port of the Houthis. Europe's plan to phase out Russian energy and commodities more quickly will not affect Russia and will not force it to change in position, said Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov on Wednesday. The European Union executive head, Ursula von der Leyen, said on Tuesday after a call with US President Donald Trump that the European Commission would propose a faster phase out of Russian fossil fuel import. Peskov also said that Russia would prefer the crisis in Ukraine to be resolved through diplomacy. Russia supported the reform of United Nations Security Council through the consensus on reform is almost impossible right now as so many countries have dramatically opposed position, added the Kremlin spokesperson. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin flew to the Nizhny Novgorod region on Tuesday to observe joint Russian-Belarusian military drills, state television reported. Putin listened to briefing from Defense Minister Andrei Belskov and his deputy. The president said on the Zafad exercises were to extend and intended to rehearse elements of defending the Union state of Russia and Belarus. At the Wormges, Russia and Belarus also rehearsed the launch of Russian tactical nuclear weapons as part of joint military exercises, which also featured the Orchnik hypersonic missile that Moscow test-fired last year in the war with Ukraine. Indian troops have been participated in the Russian-led Zafad 2025 military drill, said Russia state agency TASS. The Indian Ministry of Defense confirmed it has sent 65 armed and forces personnel to participate on the drill. Ecuadorian police used tear gas and riot control tactic on Tuesday to disperse protest in Quito as demonstrators opposed the government elimination of diesel subsidy. The confrontation erupted when demonstration threw objects as a riot police who responded by firing tear gas and advancing on the curb. On the outskirts of Quito, demonstrators blocked highway with stones, earth mount and burning. The barricade police and military forces worked to clear the roadblock using the bulldozer to remove debris, and the protest stemmed from the government decision last week to eliminate a $1.1 billion diesel subsidy used by the heavy transport, passenger, vehicle and agricultural sectors as well. The removal of the subsidy increased diesel cost from $1.8 to $2.8 per gallon, prompting opposition from protesters who argue the measures will increase the living cost. US President Donald Trump arrived in the Britain late on Tuesday for a second state visit. Trump's plane landed at London Standard Airport, where he was greeted by officials including British Foreign Secretary Viet Cooper, the Viscount Holyhood, representing Britain, King Charles, the US President, and First Lady Melania Brother, the helicopter that was expected to take them in the Winfield House, the official residence to United States Ambassador to United Kingdom, where they will stay overnight. During the visit, the two nations are expected to seal deals worth more than $10 billion, renewal of the special relationship UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is keen to champion. Guyana's military junta will hold a constitutional referendum on Sunday. The referendum comes despite earlier promises by COP leader Mamadi Doumbouya to return the West African nation to civilian rule. Opposition parties remain suspended and protests are banned. Several opposition leaders and activists have been detained or forced into exile since 2021 COP. Guyana experienced a decade of democratic progress and economic growth following its first free election in 2010. The Philippines on Wednesday accused China Coast Guard of carrying out unlawful behavior a day after it fired water cannon at Philippine vessels near the Rizruter and the Sardro Shoal in the South China Sea. Tuesday encounter involved more than 10 Philippine ships, and the Gan Yu, a spokesperson for China Coast Guard, accusing the vessels of having illegally invaded China territorial water for the shoal from different directions. In a statement of the Philippine Coast Guard said it was engaged in a mission to resupply more than 35 Philippine fishing boats and shoal when they encountered aggressive action by 9 Chinese vessels. Questioning threatening carrying out unlawful behavior that is pretty much normal for the Chinese government, said the Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson Zay Tarina during a briefing on Manila on Wednesday. Now sports. Former Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey appeared in a London court on Wednesday and pleaded not guilty to charges of rape and sexual assault involving 3 women. Partey, a Ghana international, is accusing of 5 counts of rape relating to 2 women plus a charge of sexual assault against a 3rd woman between April 2021 and June 2022. The alleged offences took place when Partey played for Premier League soccer club Arsenal. He left the club this summer and signed for Spain Villarreal. The 32-year-old appeared in the dock, a Southwark Crown Court, spoke only to confirm his name and date of birth, and the earlier is a not guilty plea. Partey was signed by Arsenal from Atletico Madrid for €50 million in 2020 and became the key member of English side first team, making 52 appearances in all competitions in last season. Before ending, we go through the SATV News headlines again. ECNEC approves 13 project worth 8,333 crore government to purchase rig explore gas in Bola. Expert proposed for mechanism to implement July Charter, said Consensus Commission's Vice Chairman Ali Riaz. Government increases Durga Puja grant by Taka 1 crore, said Home Advisor. This year's Puja will be celebrated in more festive atmosphere compared to last year. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.